And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who you used to be. For just tonight, could you just dance the night away?
Alright. Maybe new place, new space. Who knows? I don't know why it would want me to go through here. Because this is so much more of a fucking nuisance to go through here. Versus just going through the cliffs. Because this area here isn't that bad. I'm gonna go through the cliffs. I'm assuming it doesn't matter. Right? Oh, are they going to the crypt? Okay, fine. Maybe we'll just stick with it. I don't know. Maybe I have to meet them on this side of the waypoint of the portal, and the gates are closed on the other side. That's what I was worried. Is maybe if I go all the way around, it's gonna be closed on that side because the guy isn't expecting me. All right, well, we'll see. So we gotta escort the tourists all the way through. Ugh. So. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a hard day today because I didn't get any sleep last night. Well, I've gotten like 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep maybe. And it's not anyone's fault, it's just hot weather, and with the time change, it's just always throws me off when it goes from having that, that goes back to daylight saving time, when it rolls forward. It always throws me off. It always has. So, because we have that going on, I didn't get much sleep. And stream is actually going to be starting to be longer. I've added 2 hours on the stream. Now, that doesn't mean that every time we have stream, it'll always be 2 hour long streams. Because there's a possibility that I may end streams when I feel like it. It'll be after Hades or after Oracle or whatever. It'll still be about the same time frame at least. So it'll be at least 6 hours of streaming for sure. But my goal is to try and have to do raid strike trainings and fractal trainings on Guild Wars 2. Why are you pestering me? Why? Why are you touching?
Because it's my duty as a husband to touch you and pester you.
I don't have the patience for your pestering today.
I know, but it's still my job.
I might fucking murder you. You don't know that. Pardon my French.
Well, I guess that's a man's fate, because even male praying mantises get,
Shit, I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna have to probably figure out. You know what? Speaking of that, I need to figure out something today for censoring. Not because I had any issue with the video having censor problems with language or anything. I don't advertise towards kids and stuff, but I thought about trying to find some funny ways to cover up some of my bad language when doing Guild Wars 1 and 2. Because sometimes I feel like I come off a little too harsh, and I really don't mean it harshly at all. It's just my crappy way of venting.
Well, in a good game, you're supposed to sound like you're being harshly not.
Well, I know, but it's one of those things that's like, I think it would be good.
Don't downgrade yourself.
Okay, no. Shut up. I'm not done. I'm saying that with YouTube and stuff, and Twitch doesn't really care as much unless you are advertising towards kids. But with YouTube videos, if you curse within the first 5 or 10 minutes of the video, it does put people off because they don't know you, so they don't know what your deal is, and they don't know
Not only that, YouTube demonetizes views, cursing, and all that.
I'm not real worried about the demonetization on that because
I know, but it's in the future.
I know. Well, I was gonna say it's also the fact that streaming is going to be the main. Streaming is kind of the main thing I'll probably be doing because let's be real. Videos, you can't make any real money off of doing videos anymore because there's too many people that demand you to bend. In very uncomfy ways. I don't know how to explain it without it seeming like I'm pointing fingers. I guess that's the thing is, there's a lot of limitations to what is acceptable behavior in general with like videos and stuff, which is kind of silly to me. Because if you were an adult and you were advertising to adults, it really shouldn't matter as much. I know. I'm saying that's what I'm saying is if you were an adult and you were advertising to adults, I feel like cursing isn't that big of a deal per se, but it's kind of like YouTube's all been trying to YouTube and several of other medias like it. There's a few other websites like it too that have just kind of been trying to become TV for a while, and I just kind of think that that's not the point, you know. TV, the reason people stopped watching TV as much and started watching YouTube was because they got sick and tired of having to watch filtered content, and not like filtered content like unsafe. Like I don't think watching violence like people like kicking puppies or something is a good thing. That's not even that's never even good for one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kids WB for that.
But what I'm saying is that like it's very like filtered, and okay, good example. A lot of people on a lot of like actors and actresses when they get pregnant, for instance, on like in like media and stuff, they make it seem like, oh my god, she got fat. She was pregnant like 3 months ago. Give her a break. She looks great. You know, they're very judgy. They're very judgy, very side-eye. And there's this high standard that's unrealistic. And that's the thing. It's an unrealistic standard that most people don't agree with. And that's kind of the reason I think I liked watching YouTube when I started watching it as a kid, or as a teenager specifically. I say kid, but I was like 17, 18 when I started watching YouTube, because I was busy watching Cartoon Network and whichever other cartoons for a while. I was watching it because I got sick and tired of the stupid teen bop stuff on TV. And it's like, oh my gosh, Brad, you like are so loving and you have to give up everything to appease my teenage dream. That was basically every teenage movie and every teenage series that women liked, and I really got sick and tired of watching it. And like, don't get me wrong, you can watch. I watched a lot of cartoons, hence my personality and stuff. But I got sick of watching that. I wanted to watch people just enjoy a hobby, and because I like gaming, I got into YouTube where I was watching people enjoy a. Ooh, this is nice. Have we been here before? We have not been here before. Enjoying a hobby that I shared. Watching people. It was like watching backseat gaming with my siblings, you know, when I was a teenager or a kid. So I was like, it was nice. But like, I think that's the reason why YouTube was so nice, is because it wasn't about this picture perfect group of people. It was people just doing their thing, doing their arts and crafts, playing with their friends, having commentary. They were just chilling, being people in people situations. And I hate to say it, people curse. Right or wrong, whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. But, and that's what I said, it feels very sanitary. That's the thing. YouTube feels like it's trying to sanitize itself, and lots of other media sites are trying to do it too. So it's not just YouTube, so I'm not throwing just shade at them. It's a lot of them. It's like when they get big, they start trying to sanitize it, and it's like, that's not what people came for. I mean, don't get me wrong, you should sanitize some of it with, like, violence or acts of hatred or, you know, bad things. But one person dropping the F-bomb every now and then is not violence. Them, like I said, people, like, taking advantage of children or puppies, you know, like, making profit off of that. Yeah, get rid of those people. Or flag them, because they're doing bad things. The family channels that are abusive, not the ones that actually care about their kids. Because there are a few that I've seen that actually do give a crap about their kids, but they're very rare. And they normally keep their kids' faces out of it. But, you know, like, get the ones who are actually abusing their kids or their animals. Like, the people who will, like, make it look like they found an abandoned puppy that they've just neglected or, you know, made it look like it was left behind. Those people are monsters. Alright, Swamp has never been a very friendly place. Now with the increased coursework activity, it's to stay clear if I were you. I can do both. Okay, cool. Okay, so one is defeat the bandits, and the other one is need him leave the box. So if so, that who wants to visit the ruins in the area told him not to go there alone because the courses have been lurking around there. Okay. Okay, we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm still gonna stick to this one. Is it that? Is it the nobles that we're leading around? Yeah. Okay, let me grab some NPCs. But yeah, it's and generally speaking, that's what ends up happening with every big site or every big trend. It seems it's all very free or it's all very real at first, and then it starts to lose its realism, and it starts to become sanitary, and then it becomes non-real. Because eventually it's gonna be like YouTube and everything else is just like normal TV, and it won't be the same. It won't feel genuine. It'll just feel like, oh, well, this is just people pretending to be human. That's one thing I hate about it's why I don't like those channels where they're like, oh, I'm gonna give random money to random people. I'm like, cause I'm a good person. It's like, no, you're not. That's scummy. Don't do that. Don't film people when you're giving them charity. It's okay. I respect people who do the body cams where you can see their face, but you can't see everybody else's face. I could see that because then you're keeping everyone else safe. But I feel like it's not safe to be doing that. I'm trying to decide who I want. We're gonna get a brawler, I think. We're gonna get the brawler. But it's not safe to be doing that to other people. You know what I mean? Because assuming you're being genuine and you're not just you're just your friend pretending to be homeless so you can like do that, or giving it to somebody and then taking it away from them. Assuming that you're being genuine, it looks very scummy. Can you get my mom, please? Ever since my father died last year, the quarry accident, she hasn't been well. She's waiting for him at home with dinner and on the table for weeks. Then she begins wandering off and searching for him, convinced he's got lost on his way home. Aw, I can check. But yeah, it's like, yeah, make sure I get the right one. But it's like, assuming that, right, what you're doing is you're just putting those people in risk. If they are homeless, they don't need you, like, be in their face, you know what I mean? They already have the worst possible outcome you can get, you know? You don't need to be in their face and do this stuff. And if you want to do something out of the kindness of your heart, do it out of the kindness of your heart, not because there's a camera rolling. Because that's what you're doing, you're making ads off of it. And if you aren't making ads off of it, then you can say things like, hey, you know, there's a big, you know, we're going to do a charity thing for this region because their prices or their stuff is an issue, you know, or like there's a lot of homeless people, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Make a public display of, like, an announcement, but don't make it a public display of, like, oh, hey, we're just going to go and randomly give things to people, you know? It's not good. It's not helpful. Also, we're gonna talk to this guy. He's rich. I can tell you stories. This is this guy. Okay. We will leave him be. We don't need to do that. I don't know if with the boss's animals here. They're 14. We're level 15. Might be okay. Might be okay. We're gonna get one of these. It might as well be right here. But yeah, like, there's just like so there are some things that I find scummy and that have been scummy from the very beginning, you know, and those things need to be cleaned. But that's just to be expected. You know, there's always going to be somebody who is a snake oil salesman and all good things. But yeah, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think cursing devalues you as an individual or makes you a bad person enough to really warrant it. But, you know, like I said, I get it. It is a really hard line to run from a company's perspective. To play devil's advocate just a little bit. Honestly, this area is really interesting looking. Sorry, I don't mean to bump these nobles. Oh, you dropped orange dye. Give me that. This area is very interesting because it's very dark. It makes me think of Path of Exile, with some of the darker, like, forest settings. It isn't that bad fighting wise. This might be. I was expecting a little something something, but this doesn't seem that bad. If I can get these guys down. Do you have to pester me?
Yes.
He looks so ugly! Ugly. Oh. I like how they're not attacking the nobles. It's very nice. Don't make it extra hard on me, you know? I love that game. Thank you very much for being so kind. The game's not always kind to me, which is fair. But when it's kind, it's very kind. I'm just saying. Gotta give the game its props. Oh my gosh, they're so cool looking, but they're also terrifying. I'm so glad I put this on. I'm gonna need it every 5 seconds during this fight. Literally, every 5 seconds. I've had to use it. My god. Oh, that's funny. Sorry, I didn't want to talk to you. I just wanted to pick up money off the ground. I was picking up chump change, man. Okay, I do feel like we're gonna get attacked around this corner. I knew it! I knew it. It was too chill. We're gonna have to do the spiders too. Great, lovely. I don't want that, like, I just want to get this guy. I know I probably should do tab to swap character, like, stop swap. But it is a hard thing to remember. Like I said, I'm glad that they at least... Let me get this guy. I need to move over here. Did we get him? I think we did. Okay, good. I keep pushing it before it's ready. There we go. There we go. I thought we got you. I guess he was at the back. Okay. I don't want to... He is standing on that. There we go. I just want the gold. This is really pretty, though. I do like it. It feels weird, scary kind of thing. I guess we would have had to fight them anyways, because we had to go around this corner. Imagine being that you're, like, guiding a bunch of nobles around when there's a bunch of bandits and crocodiles and other things, and they're just clapping their little hands like, ooh, look at this, so shiny. Oh my gosh. I love it. So authentic. Are we being mugged? Oh, no, honey. It's just a show. They wouldn't let us get really mugged. My lord. You know what I mean? It'd be really funny. Just like shaking their fan like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? I wonder... Okay, I'm gonna see if we can go over here. I see the nobles are there. Yeah, okay. I was just seeing if they would be attacked or not. Oh, is that her husband? Oh, it is, I think. Maybe? Maybe. No, maybe not. Who knows? Okay, let me see about... I think there's a way over this way. I don't know if I can loop back around. I feel like I could. I mean, we know they're not being attacked, so... Can you go back over here with this guy? I like that we're at least not being attacked. Like, they're not actually going after the nobles. And we don't have to actually play defense. Defense for this would be, so horrible. Where are all the nobles? Why is there only one with you? You don't want to. You don't want the answer to that. I guess we can go over here and kill these guys. They're level 10. It's not great, but it's not that bad either. Oh, that sound was funny. Whoever made some of these cry sounds in Guild Wars 1 and 2, bravo, you guys did great. They do sound genuinely upset. I do like the death cries that they use in both games. Cause like they sound very realistic for the most part for for a game like this. They don't sound that cartoonish all the time, and sometimes they do, and to be fair, that's kind of valid. Sometimes you fall in the most ungraceful way, and you don't make the most graceful sounds. Coming from someone who has fell several times and fell in an ungraceful fashion. Yeah. That is not your cue to be up in my personal business. I will fight you. I will fight you! I curse your lineage. My husband's not even ashamed. He's just like, whatever. Disrespectful. Disrespectful. I put up with him only because he is quite loving. Obnoxious? Yes, but I'm also obnoxious. It's our duties in our life to be a pain in the ass for each other. That's what love is, right? You're supposed to be the bane of their existence, right? You're not supposed to be loving and sweet and soft, right? Why you do this? Why you do this? This area is really cool. I like how open it is. Like I said, it gives me so much Path of Exile vibes. Because Path of Exile, one of their... I don't know. Their tree is really intimidating, and...
It looked intimidating, but you were able to manage it, you done well and got far in the game.
I still have my first tune, but I don't remember how to play it now.
It's easy. It's like Guild Wars.
No, it's not like Guild Wars. It's not like Guild Wars. Don't compare it to that. That's not a fair comparison to either one of the games.
Once you start playing old correctly, you will memorize.
No, I've tried. I can't get back in it. It's exhausting. Like, it's exhausting for me because of how much it... And yes, it is very customizable, probably more customizable than Guild Wars 1 and 2 combined. But I just can't... I don't have the energy for it. I find Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 way more fun because it's to the point. It had... It's not... Well, you can't play with the group with that one.
You can.
I know, but you can't play with, like... You can only... Okay, you can only play with... like a team of 5? Why would I bother with playing with a team of 5 when I go on Guild Wars 2 and play with a team of 10 and 50 if I chose? That's why I say that. It's not that
That's if you were doing raids, right?
you can do metas too.
Yeah, do metas,
but
if you're doing like it should be fine. Like it's simple to do.
I know, but that requires friends, and I don't make friends in that game very easy. And like I said, I just don't find it as interesting. It's so much. And don't get me wrong, Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 have a lot of combinations, and it's basically an endless game with its options and things. But there's a difference between that and having like a tree the size of Texas. No, I take that back. Texas would be quivering in its boots with the level of tree that Path of Exile has. And don't get me wrong, I love my Necromancer, but I can't, I don't know if I can go back and do it. Like I said, it's just so much. I like the mood, like how it's like spooky and stuff. But like, I could also just get spooky vibes from other games while still also not being overwhelmed. That's what it is, right? Most people probably don't care that it's a lot, because they probably think that's cool. As somebody who has ADHD, it's overwhelming, and I cannot do it. I like that Guild Wars 2 and 1 has flexibility while also still having a stable builds on things. Because, for instance, I don't make builds of my own. It's too much work and stress for me to think of my own. I won't lie, I use Snowcrow. And I obviously listen to chat every now and then when they give me some good tips on different weapons and gears and things, and that kind of thing. I don't go out of my way to do it myself. It's just too much on me. And with Path of Exile, you have endless options, and you can't go wrong. The only way you can go wrong is by not doing it. But it's still a lot on my brain. I get it's like trying to hand somebody who has limited attention, like giving a toddler like 30 books and expecting the toddler to be able to pick a book. It's too much for my tiny ADHD brain. I do suggest for other people, but for me, I cannot do.
I say it'll be fine.
I know it'll be fine. Like, I can play it. I just don't want to. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I don't want to do that. I find Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2 way more relaxing because it's endless. It's got achievements.
You were bitching a lot about Guild Wars 1, then you started getting a hang of it.
Yeah,
So,
but that's different. Guild Wars 1, I knew I'd have problems with Guild Wars 1 at start because it's an older game and different mechanics. But it's still very similar to what I was expecting. Okay. Did you guys like to see the scenes? You're quite good, aren't you? Good. Again, we're impressed with you provide. Okay. Thank you. You gave me shinies. Like I said, it's just so much more relaxed. More chill. Are we here? Okay, yeah, so we're gonna head back the way we came. There's also the fact that, to be fair, when I first did Guild Wars 2, I do think that my growing pains with Guild Wars 1 hasn't been as bad as my growing pains with Guild Wars 2. Now, I say that because Guild Wars 2 was the first MMO that I really got into and where I actually made friends in. Because I've played lots of other MMOs here and there, but...
Raider Z.
Yeah, like Raider Z and stuff, but...
Where we were running away from that giant frog.
I remember more being in the starting area and being in different instances. But,
It has similar mechanics to Guild Wars 2.
yeah, there's lots of games that are similar to Guild Wars 2 when it comes to...
Online.
Yeah, like other games. Like, I mean, Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 do stand alone in the sense that they are amazing for what they do. But, I mean, the category, there is some that have very similar setups, right? But my thing about it is that Guild Wars 2's community was so much more welcoming, and even Guild Wars 1's community is way more welcoming considering how stupid I am. Like, I say that with love. I'm an idiot, and they're like, yeah, you're not doing great, but it's okay. Pat, you'll be fine, But, like, my point being is that it was easier to make friends. It's easier for me to make friends in these two games than it is in games like Raider Z or I don't even think Raider Z is active anymore, is it? I don't think that game's up anymore. I think that
I think it still is.
I don't know, but my point is,
Terra Online is not.
oh yeah, maybe I'm mixing it up then with the other game. But my other thing to it is, like in Path of Exile, obviously is still in full swing. I know that, but like it's harder to make friends with them in those for me because you meet most of those people at hubs, which is fine. You can go to the hub and say, "Hey, I need help. Can someone help me?" And people will help. But it's just not the same thing. Okay.
It's called Raider Z Revolution.
Okay, so they've probably came up with some more expansions for it, but or more added content. But for me, it's just not. It just doesn't have the same oomph to it as I don't remember if I. Okay, I'm gonna go this way, but I don't remember if I passed any on here that I didn't murder as well, like any groups we just kind of sideswiped. But yeah, like, it was easier. With Guild Wars 2, here's the thing. Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 do pretty good, especially Guild Wars 2, I think, do good with foot traffic. Guild Wars 1, there's still a lot of people in the hubs, like in most MMOs, except that Guild Wars 1 makes you loop back to those cities quite a lot. And then they obviously have the PvP area, which also acts as a hub. So Guild Wars 1, I think I missed my turn. Guild Wars 1 and it made it to where players, veterans and new alike, were constantly were always coming back to the same location. You were always coming back to Lion to see other people. You were always coming back to Cantha to see each other, right? You always did that. And then they had guilds also to do social aspects of it too. All right. Guild Wars 1, so they made it loop back. Guild Wars 2, I feel, even did better with this because there is constant foot traffic between going to Lion on core maps because veterans go back for achievements, go back for items, go for crafting, hanging out with their friends, etc., 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 right? They constantly are overlapping to the point that people will associate with each other and lots of new players will interact with old players and they get information through that. It was amazing what they did with both games where vets and new players are able to interact with each other and give each other information. Because that's another thing too, people, when they first get into Guild Wars 2, and I'm sure it's the same with Guild Wars 1, it's really crazy when you go in. Most games have a map chat, but map chat gets kind of like, normally it's kind of toxic, or it's kind of all jokes. But you can go into Lion in Guild Wars 1 and 2 and ask, hey, how do I get these boots? I want these shiny boots. I can't understand the wiki. And somebody, at some point, is going to be like, oh yeah, you go talk to this NPC, then you kill this thing, be mindful of the whole, they will give you a full rundown on it. And sometimes they'll even volunteer to go with you depending on if that vet is free, right? Information in Guild Wars 2 and Guild Wars 1 is a currency. And that is an amazing aspect of the game. Something I cannot praise them enough for. Because it makes things so much more amazing. And that's why I like to come back to it. Because as someone who's a vet in Guild Wars 1 or Guild Wars 2 and working on getting to know Guild Wars 1 a little better, but as a vet in Guild Wars 2, I love the fact that my information is value, right? I don't have to be super great at all these crazy things. Aw, he's dead. I knew it. I knew he was dead. I knew that was his corpse. It had to be. Oh, it's sad. But, I like that my information as a vet is useful to somebody. Normally new. Sometimes we have vets that are returning. They've went and were taking care of their families or had a lot of work, and they forget things, and they come back. They're like, oh yeah, I remember now how ecto works, etc., etc. Right? Like I said, information is currency, and it's currency that players give freely in Guild Wars 1 and 2, which is an amazing thing.
The official one is ended, but they have private servers.
They have private servers. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, it was one of those things that's like, that's why I like this game. Right? I like being able to be useful without having to commit, thousands and thousands of thousands of brain cells to try and get one run where I don't die. Killed? No, I can't believe it. Are you sure? I've had more. Oh, so this is this is the mother. Oh, so they killed his mother. So that's it. So he was looking for the father and he killed the mother. Oh, that's why the name didn't match. I'm so sorry. Oh. Son of Spirit, my heart cries out for justice. I must avenge my mother's death. She was old and crazy, but she was my mother. She did not deserve a cruel end to her wretched life. Oh, that's sad. I thought maybe he'd found the dad and he just, the name just was different because it looks, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. That's miserable. Alright, we're gonna switch videos real quick, so give me a second while I do this.
And we can just dance the night away until we get no